Good morning, everyone. Boker Tov. Today in Israel, the family of Hadar Golden, the IDF soldier who was killed 11 years ago in Gaza, finally received their loved one, their son, back, and were able to give him a proper Jewish burial after 11 years. And one of the most moving scenes is when the body arrives in Israel and the IDF received it 2 days ago. The first thing they did was stood at his coffin and recited the Kaddish 11 years after he died. In Judaism, giving someone a proper burial is so important, and that's why his parents did not give up. And for 11 years they fought to be able to give their son a burial in the land of Israel. This week's Torah portion talks about the importance of Jewish burial. Sarah, our matriarch, passes away, and her husband Abraham buys the cave of Machpelah as the burial place for his wife Sarah in the city of Hebron. And ultimately Abraham is buried there, and Isaac their son, and Rebecca, and Jacob, and Leah. And this becomes the family ancestral plot. As a matter of fact, this Shabbat Chayei Sarah, 20 to 30,000 Jews from all over Israel will spend Shabbat in Hebron at the burial place of Sarah and Abraham and pray and celebrate Shabbat at their great-grandparents' grave 3,700 years later. Today, unfortunately, there's a disturbing trend in the Jewish community, and that's cremation. And for multiple reasons, people sometimes choose cremation. But the burial of Hadar Golden, how his family fought for 11 years to give him a proper Jewish burial, and the story of Abraham and Sarah and the cave of Machpelah should inspire all of us to emphasize the importance of giving people a proper Jewish burial. And our rabbis say this is called Chesed Shalem, as the ultimate kindness, because this is a kindness that lasts for all of eternity. There's a story about this elderly Jewish woman. Her family would visit her in a nursing home every week, and one day they get a call from the director of the nursing home telling them sadly that their mother passed away. And of course they were distraught, and they came and they started making all the plans for a proper Jewish burial, and they gave her a proper Jewish burial. And then the family started to sit Shiva. On day 3 of the Shiva, the phone in the house rings, and they pick it up, and it's their mother who they just buried 3 days ago. And they couldn't believe it, and the mother says, "Why haven't you visited me today? You visit me every week." They were shocked and excited to see their mother was still alive, and they went running to the nursing home. And they went to the director and they said, "Why did you tell us our mother died? What's going on here? Here she is, she's alive and well." And the funeral director started to investigate, and they realized they made a mistake. They contacted the wrong family. It was the roommate of their mother that died. And they buried the wrong woman. And while the family was disappointed at the funeral for putting them through this grief, they were thrilled that their mother was still alive. And now the funeral director had to call the family of the woman who died to break the news that not only did their mother die, but that she's already buried without them knowing. And so he calls them and he says, "I need to speak to you, please come down." And they come to the funeral home, to the nursing home. He says, "I have sad news to break to you." He says, "Your mother passed away." And of course the family was shocked but sad, but they knew their mother was very elderly. She was been in a nursing home for a while. But then he says, "I have really very, very difficult news to tell you. And that is that we made a terrible mistake, and we confused your mother with the roommate. And we thought it was the other family. And they came and they already performed an entire burial service for your mother. And so not only is your mother deceased, but she's already buried. And it's terrible, the mistake we made, but please forgive us. It was an innocent mistake." And the family said to the nursing home director, "You're not going to believe this, but our mother was a religious woman, and she wanted to have a proper Jewish burial. But we told her that her money had run out, and we can't afford to give her a proper Jewish burial. And so therefore we said, we're going to give you a cremation." And our mother would often argue with us, say, "Can't you give me a proper Jewish burial?" And we said, "Look, if you have the funds, fine, but if not, we have to do what we could afford." And they said to the nursing home director, "It seems like God heard our mother's prayers and arranged for her to have a proper Jewish burial with the Kaddish and all the prayers said, just like she always wanted. This week's Torah portion and the passing and the burial of Hadar Golden should remind us all to make sure that every Jew has a proper eternal resting place, but only after 120 years, God willing. Have a wonderful day.